All right, our reading for today has us in Joshua chapter 3. Then Joshua rose early in the morning, and they set out from Acacia Grove and came to the Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and lodged there before they crossed over. So it was after 3 days that the officers went through the camp, and they commanded the people, saying, "When you see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, and the priests, the Levites, bearing it, then you shall set out from your place and go after it." So we've been talking about through the whole book of Deuteronomy leading up to this, they're about to enter the promised land. Well, today is the day, Joshua chapter 3. They're finally going to do it. And so this has been building up for a long, long time. So what's happening here is the Ark of the Covenant was a physical representation, something they could see that represented God's presence with them. So when they saw the priests and the spiritual leaders with this Ark of the Covenant, it was reminding them, we're not going into this promised land because of our might or our military or our strength or our abilities or power. It's the presence of God. The Ark of the Covenant is going first, and we follow it. So there's a lesson right there that we don't want to get ahead of God. We want to follow God. We want to submit to His timing and His way. Yet there shall be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by measure. Do not come near it, that you may know the way by which you must go, for you have not passed this way before. And Joshua said to the people, "Sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you." Then Joshua spoke to the priests, saying, "Take up the Ark of the Covenant and cross over before the people." So they took up the Ark of the Covenant and went before the people. And the Lord said to Joshua, "This day I will begin to exalt you in the sight of all Israel, that they may know that, as I was with Moses, so I will be with you. You shall command the priests who bear the Ark of the Covenant, saying, when you have come to the edge of the water of the Jordan, you shall stand in the Jordan." So Joshua said to the children of Israel, "Come here and hear the words of the Lord your God." And Joshua said, "By this you shall know that the living God is among you, and that He will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Hivites and the Perizzites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Jebusites. Behold, the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord of all the earth is crossing over before you into the Jordan. Now therefore, take for yourselves 12 men from the tribes of Israel, 1 man from every tribe. And it shall come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests who bear the ark of the Lord of all the earth, shall rest in the waters of the Jordan, that the waters of the Jordan shall be cut off, the waters that come down from upstream, and they shall stand as a heap." So this is an amazing miracle. We don't talk about this one nearly as much as we reference the Red Sea crossing with Moses. So think about the parallels that are happening. So, 40 years before, Moses was leading the people out of Egypt, out of slavery, and God stopped the Red Sea so that the Israelites escaped on dry land. And as the Egyptians pursued and they were in the midst of the Red Sea, He allowed, once the Israelites were safely on the other side, God allowed the waters to come and take away the Egyptians that were pursuing them. And so now, 40 years later, Joshua has taken the place of Moses. Moses died at the end of Deuteronomy in the last chapter, and Joshua is the new leader. And so now, with Joshua as the leader, now that they're entering the promised land, God performs another amazing miracle where He has the water in the Jordan, He has it stop. So it was when the people set out from their camp to cross over the Jordan, with the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people. And as those who bore the ark came to the Jordan, and the feet of the priests who bore the ark dipped in the edge of the water, for the Jordan overflows all its banks during the whole time of harvest. So the difference here, instead of the water stopping and them entering on dry land like they did with the Red Sea crossing, here they had to step out in faith. God had not yet stopped the water. So the water is at its high point, too high to cross, but God is telling them to cross. And so they have to step in the water and begin when the water is high. That the waters which came down from the upstream stood still and rose in a heap very far away at Adam, the city that is beside Zaretan. So the waters that went down into the sea of the Arabah, the salt sea, failed and were cut off, and the people crossed over opposite Jericho. Then the priests who bore the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry ground in the midst of the Jordan. So, miracle that the water stopped. A miracle that right after stopping it, the base of the river is already dry. And all Israel crossed over on dry ground until all the people had crossed completely over the Jordan.